Life is a struggle and pain. I can't stand sunny days for the rain. G.O.D. please help me to maintain, because I don't wanna die if I'm living in vain.
Good morning, how y'all doing? Man, I sure have missed doing these daily words. I mean, God, I love doing them so much. But you know, I guess, you know, everything happens for a reason, and I probably did need that little time off to get rejuvenated and, you know, get my swagger back and all that, and, you know, just working. Today what I want to talk about is acceptance, which I think is just the key to everything also, you know, in life. I had a couple phone calls today, and both of them were kind of on that same subject. You know, both people were just frustrated, you know, depressed, just about, you know, what's going on right now, you know, in their life. But all of them, they kind of shared the same thing, and that was just about the economy and their economics and living day to day, and they get tired of just making it every month, and, you know, all that, which I'm sure there's a whole lot of us out there that are looking at this that knows exactly what they're talking about. You know, I believe that everything happens for a reason. I believe that God is in control of everything. I don't think, you know, it's by chance that we're getting this chance to work on some other things in life. You know, some things that maybe we can't see or that we can't touch. You know, and more than ever, we need those things. You know, we live in such a materialistic world, and now that God has kind of taken that away from us and people are hurting, the question is then, what are we going to do now to make us happy? We can't go out and buy the stuff that we used to buy, so now what are we going to do? And people are struggling with that. They're struggling with that. The last conversation I had with somebody, I said, well, listen, all I can tell you is that all I have left is faith. That's all I got. He was like, yeah. And you could tell that that just wasn't enough for him. It's enough for me. It's enough for me. You know, I laugh sometimes, especially now, you know, with the way the world is changing, and even with electing Obama, with that hope and change message, and here we are, and people are struggling. I mean, we are going to have to grab on to those intangible things. You know, I love the Bible. The only problem with the Bible is that it's too long. You know what I mean? There needs to be a cribs note for the Bible, because most people are just going to pick and choose what they want to read out of the Bible. Like I said, the last person told me, said, well, I read the Bible and it says, ask and you shall receive. And I told him, I said, well, did you read the whole Bible? You want to pick and choose what you want out of it to satisfy what you want. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. God don't work like that. You know, and what that all has to do with acceptance is this. Is it may not be God's will for you to be rich. It may be God's will for you to struggle month to month for the rest of your life. That may be God's will. That may be your life. Does that have to be your entire life? Is there some other purpose? Yeah, there probably is another purpose. For you to do something else which is more valuable than money or anything else. You know? So whatever it is that God's will has for us, it's not going to be all the same. But accept your position in life, whatever that position may be. And it's just as valuable as anybody else's position. You know, I have a chronic liver disease, and they say that, you know, within the next couple of years I'll need to have a transplant. I was telling somebody yesterday, because I had to go for an MRI, is that, you know, the only bad thing about going to go see a doctor or go to the hospital is there's a bunch of sick people there, you know, and I can't just come in there bouncing and, hey, how you doing? How's everybody? Oh, you know, it's God's will, you know, that we're all sick. I mean, they'll look at me like I'm crazy, or if not, shoot me. And so I can't do that. So you start sitting there, and then you kind of start finding yourself, or I started finding myself, slipping into you know what was going on. And I said, well, I can't do that. And I tell that story because, you know, part of my acceptance of what is wrong with me is because of the choices that I made earlier in my life. You know, being a recovering alcoholic, being a recovering drug addict, living on the streets. You know, there are issues that I have that, but for me living that lifestyle, I probably wouldn't have today. I'm not sad about it. I accept that. That is the truth of the matter. And there's nothing that I can change about that. I could be depressed. I could be whatever. Because there's no long, I can't tell how long I'm going to live. But I know one thing is that I'm living today. And today I get to give back what I have to give today. You see what I'm saying? So it kind of goes in line with everything that I've been saying up to this point, is that I can look back and see what happened to me, and I'm okay with that. I can see where I'm at today, but the way my condition, my liver is, the way the economy is, I can see that, and I accept where my position is in life. I can't worry about the future and what's going to happen 2 years from now. Because Lord knows, if you read my book or you haven't read my book, a lot of miracles have happened to me in my life. A lot of miracles. And I expect a miracle to happen again. I expect that. And whatever it is that God has in store for me, that's what will happen. But I know, like I said, today I'm living. It's my youngest son's birthday today. We're going to go out. We're going to be happy. So what's going to happen 2 years from now ain't got nothing to do with today. My life may not be, some grandiose idea of everything. But you know what? I wouldn't want it to be that anyway. I'm perfectly content with my life today. And, so for me, the thought for today and for me to hold on today is acceptance. Have I accepted where I'm at today in my life? Have I accepted what I've done in the past that has led me to where I'm at today? And also, too, is being able to tell the difference between what the choices I made in the past and how it affects me today, and also what is going on today that I had nothing to do with. A lot of us went to college, have undergrad degrees, have law degrees, that still can't find a job. And that has nothing to do with you, so you can't beat yourself up over that. Or maybe you didn't go to school and you're in where you're at today. Whatever it is, but you can't beat yourself up for that. Those are the choices that you made for whatever reason. But what's important is that I think that it is a time for us to focus on, at least for me, and my thought for today is that it's time for me to focus on all the intangible things. Am I really, truly grateful for living today? See, that's how basic it is for me. Am I truly grateful that I'll be able to spend time with my kids today? Yeah, I'm grateful for that. That's enough for me today. Am I going to eat today? Yeah, my fat butt going to eat today. You know what I mean? Those things are all right today. And that's enough for me today. And I guess the question is it enough for you? Today is enough for me. And my work today is going to be on those intangible things. So God bless you. I'm so glad to be back. I hated, I had to come back with this energy, and we're going to keep making a run at it again until God decides I need another break. Then we're going to go with that, and then we're going to come back. However it's going to be, we're going to roll with it. So anyway, God bless you today. Acceptance. That's it today. Acceptance. All right. I'll see y'all tomorrow. God willing anyway. All right, bye.